Game time, Brian. Your name's name that I gun. You need a way to the fire. Lady with hammer stills gunned in the living room. Just a mailbag full, delivering letters. Now I'm dropping that fuel from the 9 to 5 to the Cowboys grind. Turn my voice into a platform. Game time, Brian. Every snap, every play, break it all down. Blue and silver pride, yeah, I rep this town. From the news to the rumors, every hot debate. If it's Cowboys talk, man, I'm never late. They say America's team, yeah, the name holds weight. 5 rings deep, and we still chase it. No matter win or lose, I stay locked in. Every game day is game time again. Game time, Brian, put the star in the sky. Talking about the boys till the day I die. From the mail route grind to the YouTube fame. Now the whole world knows my name. Tune in, lock in, yeah, we going live. Cowboys Nation, yeah, we ride or die. Opinions fly, but the passion stays. Every day's game time. Press play. Dak takes the snap, Micah on the chase. Talking O-line, defense, who's making the plays? Trades, rumors, draft picks too. If it's Cowboys news, then you know I come through. No network scripts, just a fan with a voice. Doing this my way, yeah, that's my choice. Breaking it down for the real, no cap. If you're riding for the star, then you know where we at. They say America's team, yeah, the name holds weight. 5 rings deep and we still chase 8. No matter win or lose, I stay locked in. Every damn day, it's game time again. Yeah, top run, put the star in the sky. Talking about the boys till the day I die. From the mail rail grind to the YouTube fame. Now the whole world knows my name. Tune in, lock in, yeah, we going live. Cowboys Nation, yeah, we ride or die. Opinions fly, but the passion stays. Every day's game time. Press play.
Leg nights, early mornings. Yeah, I built this up. Did it for the fans, never just for luck. One video turned into something real.
I found you. I found someone.
Well, good evening, everybody. Sorry. I'm running. But I am here. Good evening, everybody. Game time, Brian. Can everybody hear me good? I just did an update. Last second update. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I didn't double check. Alter, are you back in PR, brother? I assume you got back either late last night or early today. Jesse, 9 o'clock. Please learn to read. What's going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? Okay, thank you so much. All right. I wanted to talk a little bit. Phil was supposed to join me. Maybe he's not. So we'll play it by ear. So anyway, Oscar, I missed. I've been flying. Yeah, I figured you were flying back. All right. I want to get into some post-draft analysis. First things first. You know how I don't like post-draft grading by non-football people? If I sit there and say, well, I think Dallas was an A+, and I think Eagles was a C, it wouldn't be legit. You know, there's a bunch of different outlets, but we'll use Pro Football Focus. But first and foremost, we're going to cover Dallas's players that we... Nobody knows how to listen. Hopefully it's Phil. Yeah, it's Phil. This is who we signed so far. Some interesting names. No quarterbacks. Kind of surprised. No quarterbacks. You're gonna need some quarterbacks. So I'm really surprised we didn't draft a quarterback. But we got Zion Childress, defensive back out of Kentucky. I mean, I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna see if the beast. If he has Zion Childress. So I just want to here. I'll do this. Again, 9 o'clock. These people do not know how to read. I guess they don't.
How's it going?
What's going on, man?
Well, I thought I was waiting for my email from it. I
was out in my jacuzzi and I came in and I was running late. So
yeah, you would.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just messing, man. I was running late.
I know you were. Zion Childress. I don't even know if he's on here. I just would figure I might, I was going to have everybody ready, locked, and loaded, but I lost track of time.
No, it's understandable. It's understandable, man. I wasn't expecting to kind of, I was thinking too, I was like, man, a recap. But like I was telling you, I was like, how you feeling? I was pretty drained and I had to go do a bunch of stuff today. So.
Yeah, I was drained yesterday. Woke up not the best. All right, well, we're not going to worry about it then.
Well, the nice thing is we went to this nice, we had a soccer game with, again, the professional league that they have going on here. The team was playing a higher ranked team that hadn't lost to since 22 or something like that. And our Naples team beat them. So
cool, very good, very good.
I was like, it was something cool to watch and unwind.
These people don't understand. Hey, Randy, do they not look at what I said? Please don't join before 9. Sorry to hear that, Matt. Trayshawn Holding, wide receiver, Oregon. Can you say anything about him, Phil?
Yeah, man. When I watched Oregon, of course, I watched Oregon football. Dylan Gabriel. How many times have I been a fan of Dylan Gabriel?
No.
Running back, James Jordan, amazing running back.
Yes.
Amazing receivers. That's what he had. He had an amazing receiver. Tez Johnson was doing amazing things there. He was doing good. I mean, you watch his tape. There were some times where I'm like, okay, he was just the third wide receiver in that rotation. And so he still, when you see the balls coming to him, he was making a lot of plays. And he would make those plays on times where it's kind of like Alvin Harper, where you're expecting the other guys to step up, and then all of a sudden the ball comes to him and boom, he makes a big play. He's running down the field. So he did that throughout the season. So, man, that's just a nice addition. I thought that was a really good, because it was one of those names. As soon as I saw it, I knew exactly who it was.
I found him easy. So I'll read you what I have on him through Dane Brugler. Trayshawn Holden, he's 6'2", 205, fifth-year senior. He's 23. He looks like he'll turn 24s at some point during the season. Originally from Florida, played for...
Oh, I love how they put the 23.7. That's like little kid stuff. We're like, well, how old are you? I'm this many. And they put in a half type of thing in there. And then that's nice. I like the beast. That's good.
He transferred to Norborne High in Los Angeles for his senior year, caught 31 passes for 512 yards. A 4-star recruit, he committed to Alabama, where he was roommates with Bryce Young and filled in when Jalen Waddle was injured in 2020. After 3 years in Tuscaloosa, he transferred to Oregon before the 2023 season. Despite a rocky start there, he set career bests as a senior. Holden gives his quarterback a large target and is at best on digs and crossers,
Yep.
attacking the teeth of the defense. He stays coordinated in his release and route entrance, but lacks the speed of suddenness to easily separate, especially on the first and second level.
He's a Rod Smith type of guy where he's
I
bigger
love Rod
body.
Smith.
That's a good analogy, I think.
All right. They got wide receiver Josh Kelly out of Texas Tech.
Yeah, this is a new one.
Okay. Let me see if I can find Josh Kelly. Just curious, while we're here, see, break down these guys a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely. I like it. I
Nick-
saw that they,
yeah.
and of course, Dallas is really good at this. Undrafted free agency signings. All right.
Josh Kelly, got him. All right, Josh Kelly, 6'1", 186. He's a 6-year senior, and he is also 23.8, a couple months older, so he'll be 24 July 1. Josh Kelly, who is as an older brother, Chris, who grew up in California with his parents, yada, yada, who cares? A 3-star recruit. He stayed close to home, played at Fresno State, catching passes from Jake Haener. After an injury-riddled 2022 season, Kyle transferred to Washington State in 2023, then to Texas Tech for his final season. He posted career best numbers out of the slot. Okay, Kelly isn't the most detailed or explosive route runner, but his stem breaks are sharp because of his quick, urgent feet. Despite a relatively lean frame, he owns large, confident hands and works well with bodies around him. Overall, Kelly flashes elusiveness before and after the catch, but his lack of desired speed on tape and the stopwatch is a high hurdle that will be tough to clear versus NFL coverage. So, looks like a camp body trying to make the practice, and trying to make the practice squad, in my humble opinion. Rivaldo Fairweather, tight end out of Auburn. Do you have any clue about this guy?
Let
me see. I'm going to find him.
I remember him from somewhere else.
Rivaldo.
After 3 seasons at FIU, so there you go.
Oh, you found him? Oh, there he is. Auburn. I got him. 5th-year senior. 6'3", 242. He'll be 23 in July. A 3-star recruit who was late to enter the recruiting process, but Florida International took a chance.
The high side is a blocker, so
after 3 productive seasons with the Panthers, he joined Auburn for his final 2 years. Still a relatively unpolished player. Sounds like another camp type body.
Yeah, a lot of camp bodies. Catches 38 passes for 394 yards, 6 touchdowns. So it's there. You can see he was in the rotation.
Defensive back Elijah Clark, Syracuse. They actually picked up a couple Syracuse
This one I
guys.
had in some of my mock drafts late in the 7th round, and so I was seeing that most of the time he was starting to slide out. So he was one of those ones, kind of like Upton.
Okay.
He was kind of like there. He was right there in that range to me.
I'm trying to find him. I'm sure he's there.
Clark started 34 games over the course of 3 years in Syracuse with 181 tackles, 9.5 tackles for losses, and 10 pass defended for the Orange. In 2024, he was MVP of the Syracuse Bowl game, and he can play anywhere in the secondary with experience on punt coverage as well.
Nice. Very good. Very, very good. So then we'll move on to the next guy.
Did you go to Zion Child?
Hyundai Elantra versus Toyota Corolla.
Did one on him.
Look what Elantra has.
Because they do have something on him here.
Who's that?
That Zion Childress.
Oh, yeah? Go ahead.
He says it's a Houston native, Childress started his career at Texas State before making the jump to SEC in Kentucky in 2023. He was a team captain in 2023 and 2024, starting 25 straight games at nickel position. He plays fast and physical, which translates well into the NFL level, whether it's on special teams or defense.
Nice. Okay. Next guy is Elijah. Oh, I already said Elijah Clark. Justin Barron, linebacker out of Syracuse. So, linebacker out of Syracuse. Let's see if I can find him. Let's see. Syracuse.
Oh, interesting.
Justin Barron.
More impressive.
Yeah, the 27th overall prospect. 6'4", 225. Fifth-year senior. He'll turn 24 the end of October 25th. Justin Barron grew up in Central Connecticut. He's a 3-star recruit, committed to Syracuse over UConn and others. Switched from receiver to safety in 2020. Over the last few seasons, he played all over the back.
Yeah, nickel and linebacker as well.
Linebacker, safety, big nickel, and reached at least 90 tackles in each of his final 2 seasons. Wow.
He was mentioned, he had honors with all ACC honors in the last 2 seasons, where he was also team captain. He started 26 straight games in his final 2 years and led the team in tackles for the last season with 93, adding 9.5 tackles for loss and 2 sacks.
There you go. Yeah, he's an impressive size and good athlete. And there's zero concerns about his competitive toughness or football playing temperament, though his burst to close jumps off the tape. His coverage movements are inconsistent and missed tackles made for a nagging issue on his 2024 tape. Overall, Barron needs better consistency to find a full-time role on defense, but can provide versatile depth. His special teams experience, 949 snaps in college, will pay immediate dividends. I think this guy may be a keeper, everybody.
Yeah,
so
that sounds like an impressive one.
Let's
like as soon as he starts working with Eberflus, that might improve him.
Yes. Justin Barron, linebacker, Syracuse, big boy. I like that. We
gotta keep an eye out for him.
Tyler Neville, tight end out of Virginia. I'm gonna look him up. UVA.
Yeah, so I guess he was he spent his last season in Virginia, but he spent his first 3 seasons at Harvard, contributing 394 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Cavaliers in 24. At Harvard, he was first-team All-American as voted by FCS coaches and started in 32 straight games to finish his career.
Tyler Neville, yeah, I got his size. He's 6'3", 240. So there you go. 6'3", 240 out of Virginia. So we'll go with Phil's. And then we got Bruce Harmon, corner out of Stephen F. Austin. Let me see if you know anything about him. Bruce Harmon, Stephen F. Austin. Let me see if I can find this cat.
Okay, so a graduate of Rockwell Heath High School, Harmon returns to Dallas area after 6 seasons at SFA. Ran a 4.44 40-yard dash and a 4.23 shuttle.
Nice.
Showcasing quick change of direction and producing as a tackler and ball hawk with 9 career interceptions.
Bruce Harmon, 5'11", 202. So, decent size, not too short. So, again, he's going to come in and compete, Yeah. And last name I got, and this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 9. Mike Smith Jr., DB out of Eastern Kentucky. So they're really bringing in what? Out of the 9, 1, 2, you got 4 defensive backs. Mike Smith Jr., Eastern Kentucky. Let's see if I can find him.
You did say Josh Kelly, right? Like a while back.
Yes, wide receiver, Texas Tech.
Okay. So yeah, Mike Smith, Eastern Kentucky. Interesting. Smith was a first-team All-American at FCS level last season after tallying career highs in tackles with 63 and interceptions 4. Can play multiple safety nickel spots and presents an intriguing option on special teams. Building that special teams.
Yeah, and again, you got to remember every team has to have these bodies. So why not get the guy that you may have on your draft board? So we'll go with that. I'm not going to kill myself looking for him. So Mike Smith. So yeah, so there we go, everybody. That's our 9. Again, I would say just me personally, Justin Barron, Trayshawn Holden.
Yeah, those two definitely, and maybe Clark, but
Yeah. So again,
there's some ones that stand out there, so we'll see.
we will definitely see. Now, I did really before. I don't know how long Phil's going to stay, but I said I need him for at least a half hour. I'll open it up to all the Momos at 9:00. So before they arrive, we're gonna break this down. Like I was saying, Phil, I don't normally like doing like draft
grades and all that kind of stuff.
But what I will say is everybody wants to use Pro Football Focus. They do a lot of analytics, all throughout the season. They are a professional organization. And per PFF, whole
everywhere
NFC
I look,
East,
they get I mean they gave the
NFC
their credit.
The NFC East killed it.
Yeah.
All 4 teams.
Everywhere I keep seeing too, it's like, and I know it only goes so far because they can only give their opinion. But yeah, it's high grades right now. And I mean,
let's go right to the
best
Super
player
Bowl
available.
champs. Yeah, let's go right to the Super Bowl champs. They were drafting 32. Again, they gave them an A.
Harder position too.
Yeah, they gave them an A. A Jihad Campbell at 31. Andrew Makuba. Like everybody knows, I love Makuba. So again, Dane had him as his 7th best. Again, he's a smaller guy, but he's a playmaker. And on that team, I think it'll fit really nice.
I think so too.
Ty Robinson, don't know much about him. I know he's a tall guy, not too, I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about him.
But you like your guy, you like your guy.
I could lie to you, but I don't really know a lot about the kid.
Yeah.
Mac McWilliams out of Central Florida. McWilliams was at his best in zone coverage, posting a coverage grade of 80.5 on 38 throws in his coverage last season. He allowed just 21 catches for 133 yards. So then with their second, 5th round pick, they got, I don't know how you pronounce it, Smail Mondon Jr. He was on the board when Dallas picked. Dallas decided to go with Shamar.
Yeah, the Florida.
Yeah, and I like Shamar James because of his upside and his physical stature. And again, his special teams. Mondon, the Georgia pipeline from Athens to Philadelphia, continues with this Howie Roseman selection. Mondon is one of the most solid tacklers in the class at linebacker. So there you go. Dallas, for whatever reason, was not interested in Mondon. We'll see if that pays off. I like Shamar James. I know they brought Shamar James in to Big D. So, familiarity with and how Eberflus wants to play, Phil, everything is going to be downhill.
I think when you have him like that, and you watch him. I mean, he's pretty good about getting downfield, getting upfield, but staying in his lane. I think that was the biggest thing I've seen. I'm still kind of shocked by that one a little bit. Right. Again, I wouldn't go in there, but I'm going to go a little bit more towards the scouts because even with the analysts that are coming back, they're giving them high reviews on that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to refer to the. But like I said before, when we go into this, the scouts are going to be doing this draft, and it looked like that's exactly what happened.
Yep. Their 3rd, 5th round pick, the Eagles took Drew Kendall out of Boston College, center, earned 70 plus PFF run blocking grade on zone and gap runs while posting a 76.2 pass blocking grade in 2024. They took one of the quarterbacks I really liked, Kyle McCord, in a 6th. Eagles could select a McCord, so they predicted them taking McCord. He was an outstanding on deep throws at Syracuse, ranking 2nd in yardage, posting a 96.4 PFF grade. They went with tackle Miles Hinton out of Michigan, 6'7", 323 pounds, played 572 snaps at left tackle. I think I heard somebody say that's the your replacement for Lane Johnson, or possibly Cam.
They're trying. They're
Yeah.
trying. I mean, you gotta try somewhere. You gotta give them.
Who
You gotta get
knows?
rotational
Who
guys in there to
knows?
try
Yeah.
to see who you can grab. I mean,
Exactly.
I get it.
Now
Totally get it.
this next guy, it's interesting. We took I can't think of his name, but we took the right tackle out of Oregon as opposed to Cam Williams, who was on the board. They said Cam Williams would not fit in Dallas' scheme. They liked the other guy better. But they went and
I
got
thought it
Cam Williams, big boy, ranked 93rd on the PFF big board. Williams might be one of day 3's biggest steals. Again, I just know he was 6'6", so he's big.
The big dude.
Their last pick was edge rusher Antoine Powell Ryland out of Virginia Tech. Powell Ryland is slightly undersized, which impacts his ability to set the edge and run defense, but he shows explosive traits as a pass rusher. Again, a 6th-round guy. Overall grade for the Eagles was an A. So, congrats. And this is one thing I wanted to say. I wanted Phil's opinion on it. Well, we'll hold that until after we do all 4 teams. Let's move on. We'll go with the Washington Commandos because they also made the playoffs. They're the next best team. The Commanders got a B+. Okay,
Very
remember?
understandable. That's actually generous.
Yeah, and they at 29 they chose Josh Connerly, where we were saying maybe Josh Simmons would have been a better pick. But listen, if it's their guy, it's their guy. I'm not gonna, the Chiefs, sit and pick Josh Simmons. But Connerly is not coming off an ACL, so we're not gonna really break it down too much. They got Josh Connerly. In the second round, number 61, they got Trey Amos. We're both on board with that, right? We like Trey Amos out of Ole Miss. Wide receiver Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech. If any Commando fans are in here, Lane was a rotational wide receiver, primarily playing in a slot in 3 wide receiver sets. He will compete for snaps with Luke McCaffrey. Kind of a slot guy. 6th round, they didn't have a lot of picks. Linebacker out of UCLA, Kane Medrano. He will clean up his missed tackles. And he has to clean up his missed tackles. Again, I didn't think their draft was particularly very good. And then their 7th round pick, Ja'Cory Crossett-Merritt, the running back. I heard Broader say that we should have taken him over the guy we got. But, again, I like the guy we got just by his actual
I like the
size.
guy we got too.
Yeah. So anyway, they got themselves a B+. So we got the Eagles at an A, Washington at a B+.
Yeah, I think that was a little generous. For
Yeah,
them.
I think so too. I do.
Just because I do like Connolly. I think he was again rich for that. But again, they were in that same position as Alex as we were with Tyler Smith, where you got to pick your 2nd round guy in that spot. Trey Amos.
Yes.
We were talking about him. We saw a lot of there's holes in there, but again, Dan Quinn and that defense and his ability, I think, can kind of coach him up as well too. So that was a really good pick. The other 3, again, I question even running back. I mean, I feel like they already have running backs there, and maybe they're trying to use it as bait to get rid of one of the other ones. But I just I don't know.
Giants A-. They got an A-, and I really loved what the Giants did. So
I like.
I don't know how it wasn't an A+. I don't
because they're going to try to spin it somehow that they should have drafted Sador, but instead of they went up for Jackson Dart, and it's like, no, man, if you like your guy, you like your guy. I thought that was a great decision.
So they started with Abdul Carter, no brainer, right? That's going to make their defense even more nastier. Yeah. Now, I'm not a huge. Again, I know we talked Jackson Dart early on in this process. I mean, I get it, but I just don't know if he. Hey Jesse, good luck. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I have my doubts that he's going to. He just gives me. The ex-quarterback of the Jets, what was his name? He gives me his vibes.
Sam Darnold?
No, the guy, guy, not little guy. Who am I thinking
Wilson?
of, everybody?
Garrett, something Wilson.
Not Garrett Wilson, but something Garrett. Yeah. Anyway, that's the vibe I'm getting. But Jackson Dart, I was right. What's up, Brandon Butler? they did trade back into the first, not a 21, but I think a 23 or 24.
25.
Was it 25?
Yeah.
To get Jackson Dart. So a little less of a price. Third round, Darius Alexander.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Bingo. Thanks, Vinny Hagan. He gives me Zach Wilson vibes. And remember, Zach Wilson went at the top of the draft. So I hope he's better than Zach Wilson. Darius Alexander, we love. Once we went out and got Solomon Thomas, not that we couldn't have gotten Darius Alexander, but he's more of a 3-tech guy that, was drafted
they need
high.
that. They need that to complement Dexter Lawrence, and he'll be in that rotation. He won't be the starter, but he'll be in that rotation. So that's a good piece for add on to them.
It was funny because, Jesse was always saying, you're getting scatterbooed. No, you got scatterbooed.
You got scatterbooed.
You got scatterbooed.
There's your Hunter Lemke.
Yeah, right. You got scatterbooed. Let me make us bigger. There we go. The tackle, Marcus Mbao out of Purdue. I love that pick as well. Then maybe this is why.
They needed to work on tackle.
Yeah, maybe this is
that
why.
investment the guy in the first round isn't panning out as much.
Maybe their later picks they weren't happy on, but they only had 2. Tight end, Thomas Fidone the second out of Nebraska. He's basically PFF's 10 ranked tight end, and cornerback Corey Black out of Oklahoma State. So they got A-. So you got Eagles with the best draft, then it's Giants at an A-, and then the Commandos at a B+. Again, we knew we liked our draft. We could get, and I just want to say before we go to Dallas, we knew coming in we weren't going to fill all of our holes. So I liked what we did fill. If you try and fill holes, oh my God, you don't have a run stuffer. Well, you don't normally draft them unless there's a guy that's so good, I like what they did, you know what I mean? And again, we got a guy and we'll break it down. Let's see.
Well, when they did their draft, instead of going, okay, we need running back and we're going to get him right here because it's so high in value and we need to make sure we get that value from there. And we need to get a wide receiver number 2. They didn't have that whole thing. They were just going in. We're going to go and get what we think we need in that particular round, at that particular spot. Let the draft come to us. I thought maybe they were going to move around a little bit more, but they did at least once. And that's where they came up with that Shamar James was jumping up there. So I'm interested to see who we would have got otherwise. But yeah, let's go through them. I'm interested to give our opinions on them as well, too.
Yes. Again, me and Phil were both on board in trading back. But it takes 2 to tango regarding trade backs, okay? It takes 2. So guard Tyler Booker out of Alabama at 12. We don't know what the situation was. We heard that Jerry threw Ultra. He texted me. He was on hand. Jerry addressed the crowd. There we go. As you know, no trade emerged. And we don't know. Guys were being taken, like I told you they would, maybe earlier than we thought, and in some instances, Will Johnson and others, way later than we thought. But Tyler Booker, Phil, just go ahead and talk about, and I did let everybody in, but just wait till we're done with the Cowboys, and then we'll break everything down with you guys. Phil, break down the Tyler Booker for me. What do you really think about the player? I know you were actually more in line with maybe going in this direction, right?
Well, I'm more positive than I guess a lot of people. I said that going into the draft, like I understand, like I want a wide receiver, I want this, but I understand why they go this route because we understand who Shoddy is and what he's trying to re-establish. And we've talked about the culture here. It's like, when we think about this great time, it's Travis Frederick, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, and that's kind of where it went. We had Ron Leary, and that was kind of like he ran off, and we had Columbia. I don't even know. Remember the tackle that we had for a while there. But when I see that type of stuff, like he just wants to rebuild. We are kind of there, and I think I like the fact that you're rebuilding that center. I've seen so many times where Dak had that problem where he was getting the pressure in his face. Anytime that our running backs were trying to go forward, we were getting hit right at the line of scrimmage. And then all of a sudden Zach Martin kind of goes out because he's injured, and then Hoffman comes in, and then the run game improves, and that's where I think a lot of people got tricked. They were like, okay, Hoffman is that guy. They can definitely be that guy, and I think they weren't mistaken with saying that we need to invest in this, and we can't rely on a guy that we don't know, and we don't know if he can go a whole season because he didn't last year, and he wasn't the starter last year, and he wasn't able to go the whole season. So you have to kind of go, and now this guy comes in and he's a leader. Remember we were hearing that whole thing?
Yes.
We need a leader on the offense. I was one trying to figure out
I didn't
how
know
are you
anything
going to bring
about
a
him
rookie
like
in here?
in that perspective. I knew that Tyler Booker, we knew about the player, right? We knew that he was unbelievably physical. He's going to come in and start right away at right guard. There's no doubt about that. His floor is high. Now, he still has a little bit to go for his ceiling. We're not. Yeah. I know I'm not saying.
No. Yeah.
He's not coming in and being a Pro Bowler necessarily year one. I'm just saying his floor is high. He will come in and be an above average right guard. So in the
definitely a huge step up than what we had. And I was a big Hoffman fan. But you leave those guys in the rotation, and now that's you continue.
Phil, you know how it is. I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it, but when you were recruited, right, and we all know you were the quarterback for Oregon back in the day, backup, whatever. But like, were you recruited by smaller schools, or you understand what I'm saying is when you play at a certain level at the University of Alabama. I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he has a pedigree, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah. When I the fact that he was there for 3 years, he was there for 3 years. He was a starter. He was the leader. So that's where I was confused when going into the draft. They're like, well, we want to find a leader in the offensive line. And I was like, what is that supposed to mean? And then now this makes sense. Like, he was the leader. He was a team captain. He was the person. And when you hear him talk in his interviews and way he talks about, like, who's the first person you want to go against? Jalen Carter, So like, yeah, like I get it. That's kind of what you want to do. You want to take on your NFC rivals and stuff. And he's embracing it already. So you think about Tyler Smith. Is he vocal? Is he loud and stuff like that? No.
Yeah.
Is Cooper Beebe? No, he's kind of more smiling. He'll hit you in the mouth and smile about it and stuff like that. So he's right there. So yeah, you look at across there, he's going to be that vocal one. He's going to be that one that's talking. He's going to be that one that's leading. So I like it. I love it. And it's a pick. Again, I told you I was curious, what are they going to pick? Because it's usually not what I go with. And so I was very amazed by the pick.
Again, I was worried about the receivers in this draft. I'm not going to lie to you. There wasn't that many receivers I was so excited about. I'm just telling you. I know I mocked Golden.
Well, I mean,
I wasn't
Tech
comfortable
McMillan,
with him or Tet. I just wasn't.
Well, you go Tet was out. Okay, he was gone. He was gone. A lot of people somehow want to blame the Cowboys for them being gone or whatever. I don't get that. I mentioned before the draft, not to say that Turpin is that guy, but Turpin's our fast guy. We have some fast guys that we get into space and stuff. So Golden, I didn't understand what he was really going to bring extra, other than bringing an extra guy, being that extra guy. Now, Ibuka, I understood his route running and stuff, but again, we have CeeDee Lamb that does amazing route running, and hopefully he can teach the other guys. But that's what I liked about him. But when you look at the other ones, yeah, we have those type of guys on our roster, but I'm not saying it like Stephen Jones, where it's all like, well, we don't need to do any of that stuff because no, man, like it sucks. But I like the for sure pick compared to them.
Yeah. Now, just real quick, Booker, Zach, just what PFF has. Zach Martin's retirement in March left a hole in the Cowboys' interior offensive line. Booker, the 48th ranked prospect on PFF's big board, profiles as a bit of a reach, but a talent who fills a definite need up front. The Alabama guard earned an 86.5 pass blocking grade, so that's pretty good, which will provide an instant boost to the Cowboys' offense, ranked 23rd.
He was basically going up to 20-something, because the Vikings were there. Who picked the guard next? It was like that's where he was going to go.
Yeah,
he wasn't making it 40-something.
So it was kind of like a safe pick for me, but again,
I feel like a lot of these were.
Yeah, like high character guy. Very. I liked what I heard from him. We'll see. High floor. He's going to be the starter. That really adds some nice flexibility to that line. We don't have to rely on the guys that we're kind of crossing our fingers with. Donovan Ezaraku, and this was arguably my favorite pick of the day. My man,
it's hard not to get excited about this.
He was 27th. I mean, he was. I had him mocked to the Ravens at 27, and then I had no. I mean, there's no way.
I didn't think he was in our radar. I saw him each time. I saw that, but he was in that time where he was. Yeah, he was early in that second round to me. That he was not going to be there, and so I never really kind of saw him.
Ezaraku was PFF's 17 rated player on their big board. He's a significant value for the Cowboys here. The Boston College standout maintains a solid grading profile, particularly against true pass sets. He has a lot of bend in him. He's a very bendy athlete. He doesn't.
He looks kind of like one of those motocross guys with the bike.
He does. Yeah, exactly. He gets real low. Yeah.
Like, damn, man.
But he doesn't lose speed or technique when doing so. That's anybody that hadn't played the game. It's one thing to be able to get around the corner, but a lot of these guys have to slow way down or they lose their footing. This guy. He's a beast. He's 90.7 PFF pass rushing grade. He led the FBS in sacks last year. So, again, a hell of a pick for Dallas at 44. Again, they were talking after the draft. They were talking that they were looking at receiver. But listen, you can say whatever you want. But when you say, hey, all right, listen, on the surface, we're thinking that we're going to take a receiver in round 2, right? But then you have a guy like this who drops to you. They stuck to their board. At the end of the day, if you take the best available, I can't be mad at you, right, Phil?
That's what it looks like each time. It was like even, again, my running back combo, remember when I was talking about it? I was right at the end. We haven't gotten there, but there was running backs there, and I'm like, you can combination these guys, and they're going to be stupid. They're not even going to get 2 of them and stuff like that. So I was judging throughout the whole thing, and I may not have been verbally saying it, but I was definitely judging there.
Mark Hutchinson, he's got some love for Mingo. Mingo will be our number 2 and be great. I hope you're right, Mark. Again, I'm not going there.
I see the potential. I see
potential, but I still would like to go out and get a second like another guy. But we'll know. And this guy here. Chavon Ravel, again, it was a steal at the position, but there's still.
This is my guy.
Yeah, this was Phil's guy.
I was picking him in the second round each time. I was like, man, I want him.
But it's still, there's some ifs there, right? This isn't
There definitely is. There definitely is. Even his game style, gameplay.
Ezaraku or Booker. This is, oh my God, what a talent, but he may or may not live up to it, right?
Yeah, I agree. Like last tape, there was definitely some weaknesses there that I saw. But he was always on the hip of the wide receiver. And being a taller corner, that's amazing. And then when he was getting beat, sometimes he was getting double juked. And that's what was his weakness. But because of his length, he was able to kind of like catch up really easily because when they would throw the ball, he was already tall enough to kind of leap up and bat it away. So his size has definitely helped him in a lot of ways. Right. So he just needs to learn a little bit more about, flipping those hips a little bit faster.
Yeah. And then obviously we didn't have a 4th round pick. 5th round, Jadon Blue. Now, he has to work on his fumbles. But I was watching some of his highlights when I was in the stupor last night. And again, this morning I was watching some. What stood out to me with Jadon Blue is how unbelievable of a pass catcher he is. He is a unbelievable safety valve out of the backfield. I heard a comp say Brian Westbrook. Now that's just, it's only a comp, people. I'm not trying to say he's Brian Westbrook, but that just gives you an idea of the player. Very, very explosive. Runs a 4, I think he ran a 4.
I thought somebody in the chat last night said something really good. Rashard Choice. I think that was a good analogy right there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's his coach, right? Wasn't he his running backs coach?
Yeah, Rashard Choice out of Georgia Tech, I believe, and the Cowboys. Somebody said, Clemente sent me a picture.
Well, yeah, but he was coaching Texas.
Running
back.
Clemente Espinoza sent me a picture. It was really neat. It was a Texas Longhorns sideline picture. It had
Oh yes,
it
all of
had
them, all 5 of them got
all
drafted.
5 of them. It had the guy that went to Atlanta. Help me out. Tony
Bijan Robinson
Bijan Robinson. It was Jonathan Brooks.
and Brooks.
It
It
was
had
Jadon Blue.
Jadon Blue.
It was there's the 2 more.
Somebody from there was
the-
2 more there.
There was 2 more of them.
They were in the rotation. They were more in the
Pretty
rotation.
damn impressive. The University of Texas, hook 'em, baby. So we all like him. I mean, what's your thought about Jadon? I mean, not an every down guy, I don't think, but you know,
Again, another name I kept hearing a lot about.
Eagles. I heard Eagles were
Scouts.
hot on this dude.
Yeah, scouts were on it. I know some YouTubers as well that were big on him. They kept hearing it. Even Coyote and then Blue Virus, right?
Yes, Virus loved him.
Yeah, so those are the words I was catching it when I would watch his tape. I saw the home run ability. I definitely see it there. I see why they drafted him. A little bit thicker. I thought maybe he was wearing like a quarterback's like one of those rib guards, but no, he's just a thicker dude.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting. Again, I want to see all that film. I didn't watch a whole lot of Texas football, but again, they have a hell of a running back core there that
you know
did
what
amazingly
I found out
well.
about him, like just watching. Whenever he was tackled, he always fell forward. He always seemed to get a yard. Even when he was in a lot of goal line sets, which you would think, okay. I mean, it's not
his
like
balance is amazing.
Yeah,
his balance was amazing.
He was always falling forward. So I mean, listen, we'll see. I know Dallas fans were worried. I'm glad we got one. We got 2, but I'm glad we got him because I wanted
that bruiser to compliment him, and I was like, Damien Martinez.
Yeah, and they just didn't. I think they waited, and I think if they had their 4th round pick, then maybe
once they picked the offensive tackle that we'll talk about, that's when I knew it was gone. I was like, all right, we're not getting Martinez.
Here we go with Shamar James. Okay,
so they turn around and they trade 2 of their picks to jump up ahead, and go and get Shamar James. What do you think about him?
I like him. He's a physical player.
He looks like a linebacker.
Oh, he's a linebacker. He's a dominant special teams player. Again, he's not perfect, people. But you just got to remember, like Eberflus. Okay, Eberflus wants guys flying to the football, playing fast, which is why, and we'll get to the pick, which is why you need to have a big one tech. He likes more fast guys, fast big guys, as opposed to sideline.
And he looked really good, man. He would get through that line very well, shoot up, grab some guys in the backfield. But there was times where he kind of missed tackle because he over pursue or whatever.
Reminds me of a I'm not even gonna say it because
I was gonna say I as well too. I like how
say it, but I don't want to hear all the trolls. This is why I heard about Blue Westbrook take a player with 3 hill speed. Patrick Foley, thank you, man. Thanks, Patrick. I mean, I love the pick. I think I don't know who wouldn't like the pick, especially at that part of the draft, round 5. That just goes to show you how deep it really was. Patrick Foley. Just stay with us, guys. We're almost done. Patrick Foley, thank you, brother.
Pull more picks.
Johnny Cornelius. Again, this was interesting because we took Shamar James when Shmuel Mondon was on the board. Different type of player, but we could kind of look at their careers going down the stretch, playing in the same division, knowing we had a chance to take Shmuel, but we went with Shamar. Again, we had a chance to take Cam Williams out of Texas, but they went with a Johnny Cornelius who has a little bit more position flex, is maybe has a higher floor, maybe. I don't know. But in 3 seasons as a starter, Cornelius just allowed 4 total sacks, 35 pressures on 1,466 pass blocking snaps. He's a right tackle, people, but he can play some guard. He gives you flex, but he's a right tackle. You're an ex-Oregon player, Phil. You know anything about this cat?
Yeah, again, when I would watch him, very good at keeping a clean pocket. That's why I'm very surprised he dropped as far as he did. When I kept on seeing him in the mocks, there were times where he struggled But man, it was I just didn't think it was enough for him to drop as far as he did.
Right.
So yeah, I'm very surprised to get him there at that spot, and he's definitely going to be a contributor. And I like him a lot more than some of those guys that we've had around. Well, let's go. I don't even know if he's still around, but
But he
uh,
is.
Josh
Shouldn't be.
Ball, I think he's still around.
No, he's
So like,
gone. Ball
is he
is
gone
gone.
finally?
Yes, finally.
Okay.
Uh,
But yeah, it's kind of like those guys. I'm ready to kind of push out of there and get some better guys.
yeah.
We just need to kind of like close those chapters of the book and ready to get to move on.
Unbelievable. Next guy, Jay Toya. This guy I loved, right? We had right before the pick, we had a few
Did you
guys.
see that? Did you see him get picked? Did you see that video?
I did not.
Oh my God! His family is freaking out online. He just like
He's
yeah.
Tongan, by the way, not Samoan. He made sure to tell Zach Walchuk that. But
Yeah.
Phil, this may be our
he was
answer
so
to the
calm.
push. Oh yeah, I
He was
did
so
hear him.
calm.
He's calm as shit.
He was calm. Like you
Um,
can see him. Like, yeah.
He played rugby all of his life. Jay
You can see
Toya.
it. You can
Yeah.
see it. You can see it. He's one of those guys. Just you can probably tell he's probably has like a big heart and very very nice. But when you go and put the helmet and pads on, it's a whole different story. It's
Yeah.
a whole
He played
different
with
story. You can
Osa,
see
or
it.
he didn't play with
Now,
Osa.
don't get me wrong. You don't see the agility. There's no agility there where you're like, oh man, he just ran this running back down or anything like
No, but
that.
he
It's
collapses
coming
the
off that.
pocket. He takes a
He's
double
coming off that
team.
line, and you're like, oh, okay, but you can see it
Probably
where
better
he,
than
he
Mozzie right now.
yeah. Oh, he honestly probably.
Sorry, but he's probably better than Mozzie. At the very least, he will definitely rotate in. Love the pick. There was a couple guys.
I love how everybody kind of backed around him too, and his teammates and stuff like that. So again, a culture thing.
Yeah, it was interesting because you're talking him and Nazir Stackhouse out of Georgia. And Stackhouse went undrafted, so I'm sure he's going to get picked up. But they don't have. There's not many. I mean, unless you're in just an absolute top of the draft stud, not a lot of one techs get drafted high. So it's a position where you can get a guy later, and
It's not
I'm
very
excited for
glamorous,
Jay
honestly.
Toya at UCLA.
Yeah.
Okay, Phil Maffa out of Clemson. Out of Clemson. I watched some of his tape. He was running over some Florida State linebackers, running them over.
Okay, so remember, Florida State wasn't that great last year. No, okay,
Doesn't matter.
Now, no. Well, be real. Like, he's a
He gained
bruiser.
over
He's
3
a
yards
big,
after contact.
yeah, he's a bruiser. Like you
After
can
contact.
see it. You can see how he runs. He's a big body. Like I like it. Remember, I want Damian Martinez because I wanted to compliment there. And so there you go. There's your 1-2 punch with the other guy being whichever veteran you're going to leave on here, Javonte Williams or Miles Sanders. Pick one or the other. Maybe even Deuce Vaughn. But there's your two. There's your 1-2 for me. As long as they can stay healthy, I think that's going to be a hell of a 1-2 punch.
What made me
For
feel
me-
better? Well, go ahead. Finish
What's
the
that?
thought. Now, what made me feel good is Dallas brought him in before the draft. But anyway, go ahead. Or they met with him.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
It's
even
not
when
like he was like, oh, I don't know what to do. No, they knew the player well.
they knew it. They knew it. They scouted it. So again, they're board falling to them. So again, a guy that's very surprising that their scouting just did what they did, man. I got to give the scouting department credit on this draft. It's hard to me not to get pissed when there's particular people I love and I would have rather had certain ones. But again, they did an amazing job. Got a little puppy running around behind me.
And the last pick was defensive interior, defensive lineman. This was a guy that I believe he's the one that's eligible for the international player. Plus, they didn't want to have to compete with trying to sign this guy.
I heard that was the big one. I heard that he was going to be hard to.
Yeah, he was going to be hard to free agent, so they took a shot on. There was other higher graded guys, but this guy's ceiling is unlimited because he just started playing football as like a junior in high school. He hold on.
No, but
He transitioned to football as a junior in high school because he knew that would be the best possible way to get a scholarship. And he did pretty good. Dallas went out. I really do think me and Phil were talking about it. I think Dallas went out. They did work him out at Maryland's Pro Day along with the guy we thought they were going to get. And who was that? the other defensive tackle that we wanted out of Maryland.
Jordan Phillips.
Jordan Phillips, yes. They worked him and Jordan Phillips out. But Tommy Aiken Bisote, he has a lot. He has a long way to go. I think he's a keeper, very, very athletic. Needs to get stronger. But I like it. That rounds out the draft class. They were given an A+. Again, who the hell knows? But just for everybody who says, oh, you had to have this, you had to have that. You just have to be happy that they stuck to their damn board. You know what I mean? And Phil, you're the man. I'm surprised you knew as many of these guys as you did. So, again,
Yeah,
his
I was a little
channel is,
worried.
pinned at the top, everybody. So please.
I was a little worried
go
about
check him
going
out.
in. Yeah, I was a little bit worried about going into this draft because I didn't know a lot of them, and this was like 2 or 3 months ago. And then I started doing the draft, started watching stuff, started going through. I was like, okay, let me cover this position, let me cover this. And by the time I knew it, man, I knew a lot of the the people, and I was like, okay. But of course, I didn't know everybody.
Right.
That's the thing is, that's
Nobody
all,
does,
quite a bit.
but
Yeah.
it's very impressive. So Phil, that's awesome, bro. You can hang out, but I know I only asked you to hang out. But your your channel is pinned at the top, everybody. Especially you rewatch crew, go check out. We do a lot during the season on that channel, so go sub up to prime time. But let's welcome in the panel. The link is in the community tab. For all
What's up, guys?
Game Time Brian Zoom crew guys. We got Momo in the house. We got Big D. We got Randy. We got Jesse. Randy, let me go to you first. How happy are you? Are you happy? Or are you not happy?
I'm ecstatic with what we got in the second and third round. I already told y'all that Booker was a choice of ours that they were looking at. They were also looking at Josh Simmons, but they wanted a plug and play player that was ready to go right now. And with Easy, when you get 16 and a half sacks, that and he's a hustler. His motor runs 24/7. And then I sent you the video of Ravel last night. He looks like he's halfway ready to go now.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Right.
And then Blue, I'm excited about Blue, and what people aren't really thinking about, Blue is not going to be only a running back. I bet they put him in the slot because he's a very good route runner too. So I'm happy.
Me too. Mark Hutchinson, I love how Shoddy praised everybody around him. Yeah, I'm trying not to get too excited yet, but very, very impressed of how he's handling himself. Mark Hutchinson, very, very impressive. Again, he's been around this game in the NFL for 30 years. It's not like he hasn't been in a draft room, but it's a different cat, right? It's a different situation when you're the guy running everything. So,
And he also, people aren't saying a lot, but he also drafted captains of the teams, which is what I really like too, leaders.
Right.
That's a big thing too.
So, Jesse, how do you feel about the Giants draft, man? I love it.
Good evening, gentlemen, first of all.
Good evening.
Hello.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Well, yeah, true. No, I give these boys an A. I'll give them an A, maybe an A minus, because they still didn't get a receiver. We got receivers in the back over there, all the pickups at the end. We got like 2, 3 wide receivers.
Well,
but as for Carter, Scatterboo, we're doing it. Scatterboo.
So, well, that's good. I mean, I liked it. Again, it is. If anybody thinks that you can use the draft, unless you're the Eagles, when you don't have that many holes, then again, I knew going into it, guys, we were not going to fill every hole. So we just got to hope that we do fill the holes between now and training camp, and let's get ready to go. Momo, welcome. I hope you're doing better, brother. I know you've been going through a lot. I know you weren't so happy, but I thought it was decent. I know Pro Football Focus gives you a good
I have
grade.
a different perspective about the draft, and I always will have different about the draft. Let me say 2 quick things. One, when you're drafting, you just don't draft for the best available player. You draft for the need. You don't draft for the first one like that. That's number one. I know some of these perspective. People have different
We
perspective
get
how
in
they
trouble
draft.
when we go for a need. You
Huh?
know, Dallas has gotten burned by going for need. Like
But that's how you're supposed to
Mozzie
draft.
Smith.
You got to plug it. If you need a
Mozzie,
wide receiver, if you need a running back, you need a defensive end, you
yeah,
need a linebacker. That's what
yeah,
you're
I
supposed to draft
disagree
that
with
way.
that, but hey,
Yeah,
we're
I
allowed
disagree.
to.
Okay. The second thing is that most of all these players, it's a faster game. You play college. It's a
Yes,
faster
I
game.
agree with that.
Everybody is equal. Everybody got the same. Everybody can run fast. Everybody can block a certain way.
Hey,
Everybody can
Aisha.
scheme a certain way. So
Mm.
for me, that's a wait and see for my team because I don't know what these guys
Well,
can do. The
I get
tape can
that.
show me one thing, and they get on that field mentally. People aren't,
I mean,
aren't always there.
listen, we're just
Yeah, I don't
saying
know.
on the surface, how do you feel? Well,
Yeah,
nobody's
but
going to know shit for
I,
at least 2 years.
even analysts don't know that stuff.
Yeah,
But like,
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah,
are you
yeah.
happy or
When you get,
I don't listen to analysts. I don't
yeah,
listen to
oh,
scouts. So scouts get
life's
it
too
wrong all the
short not
time.
to be that.
For me, it's a wait and see. We'll see. Because there has been. I mean, I got burned too many times getting excited by a player they hyped up when
Well,
we got.
that's why we always said you cannot rely solely on the draft. Even if you
Yeah.
draft well, you know,
Now I just and I'm the one. And sorry, any Washington fans, I like my quarterback,
it's
but
a
I don't like
quarterback.
the idea that he's a running quarterback because I'm not a big fan of running quarterbacks because they have a
That's the way
tendency
the
not
game
to
is right
wait.
now, though, Momo.
I know that's the thing in the NFL, but
Like,
they
it's
have a
hard to
tendency
guard a guy who
not
can.
to wait for the man to get open
That's
or take that extra second to look at the
But
field when
that's what
somebody's
makes him
open.
so special. You know, again, early
Right.
on, just like Jalen. If Jalen didn't, I'm sorry, if Jalen didn't have his legs, he would be an average player. But
Right.
because
I
he can
agree with
take
that.
it 50 yards, 60 yards, he's an
Mhm.
above average quarterback. He
Right.
just is.
But for me,
Dak
I think the
used to be
draft was
good doing
okay.
that, not so much anymore.
Yeah, but for me the draft was okay. I just gonna have to wait and see what they
Yeah.
do on the field.
Okay. Well, then that's fair. Phillies and Cubs going to extra innings. Great. This team stinks. Anyway.
Oh,
So
Jesus
so,
Christ.
so do the Lakers too.
Yeah, I know, but this isn't playoffs.
Mm.
But Jaden
Those
Daniels
Phillies are
run where
ridiculous.
he has to. Yeah, Fly Parks. I like the kid. I liked him coming out. Now I think that he's going to need to be careful this year because again, I'm telling you, you saw what happened to what's his name out of Houston, Phil. Who am I thinking about?
Mhm.
no,
Now I will
Yes.
say one thing about
Big Dell.
Jaden this year coming up. I know they prepping
No,
him.
the
I know they
quarterback.
realize they're gonna be tougher, but he's not. Don't be like Robert Griffin because he runs out of bounds. But if you don't have the opportunity to run out of bounds, you got to slide. You got to get down.
Yeah, I agree. 87 wins, Phillies. That might get us in. But anyway, that might get. Nah, I don't think that'll get us in the playoffs.
No.
I don't think so. Yeah, who knows? CZ, what's up, brother? Big D, just real quick, what do you think? Since Jesse always gets mad that I don't go to you, what do you think about Baltimore? How do you think they drafted?
Oh, I think they did good. I mean, everyone. I feel it was great. We got Starks. I mean, well, I felt good about that. He was the best one available. We well, we made it quite a steal when we took Mike Green. But he was the
Yeah, that's
best
why I
one.
thought you did
Another
well.
best one.
Let me
Yeah,
see
I
what
had a
Pro
feeling we
Football
were gonna.
Focus gave you guys real quick while I have you. They gave you guys an A. Again, we got all A's and Momo here. So everybody got an A.
Yeah.
Except
it'd be hard to mess it up.
Yeah, it is hard. Let's just review who you guys drafted. You got Malachi Starks. Again, in the right system, I love him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like, I don't know. I have an issue with him in pass coverage, but it is what it is. He's a good player. Mike Green. I don't know that anybody's doubting Phil his athleticism, right? And it's just how he gets to the quarterback. There's off the field concerns, correct?
That is very correct. I think as long as you don't put them in one of those markets where it's just very troublesome type of areas, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
You got tackle Emory Jones Jr. out of LSU. I like the linebacker out of Cal. You got Teddy Buchanan. Then we're getting out of my. I don't really. Now, what do you think? Like real quick, they actually drafted a kicker. So what's that saying
I mean, what's
for,
that say for Tucker? Yeah.
Justin Tucker, Masagi Tucker? What's that say for him?
His days are pretty numbered if he,
Yeah. So,
well, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know yet, but you don't usually take a kicker in the draft and waste that pick either.
Lead off walk. I. Anyway, good. So, all right, now we got everybody that's in here. I don't think there's anybody in the green room, is there? No, everybody's here. So there we go. We covered everybody's draft. Momo could care less about the draft. He's saying draft for need. He goes against everything. Draft for need. Don't rank the players.
I mean, I just think all this ranking, Pro Football Focus, and all these people saying the draft. At the end of the day, you could have the best player, the best athlete out there, and he could be a bust. And we have plenty of those in the NFL.
Yeah.
Better get a Snickers. You'll be waiting for a long time.
Wow.
Marcus Russell considered one of the better quarterbacks. And when he came, well, and how he turned out, he went to a bad team.
Remember Tom Marinovich? Yeah, there's been a lot of misses.
Yeah, because he went to a bad team. It's not because you're not good. It's the team you go to.
He didn't love football either.
He loved money though. All that money.
Remember Tom Marinovich was
most of these guys love money nowadays. All these kids love money nowadays.
Well, who don't?
Yeah.
But remember, Tom Marinovich was he was a child prodigy. His father was a coach and kind of.
Oh yeah.
And then you found out that he didn't really like the game of football. He's doing it for his dad. You can't do that, right? So, but anyway, so yeah, that's the draft, everybody. It's over. It came and gone. It came and went in a heartbeat. It was a blur to me, to be honest with you.
And I commend you and Phil for sitting there because y'all was tired, y'all was exhausted, and I couldn't. At some point I was with y'all, but I said, "Oh no, this is too long. This is too long."
I was getting to that point.
You guys did an outstanding job. This is my first draft with people, so it was very entertaining, and you guys did an awesome job.
We try. Listen, it's very hard to be entertaining sometimes with the NFL.
At least we didn't have the talking man up there.
Who's that?
Richard, Mark's friend.
Oh my God! Lord have mercy. Get you and him in a room together. Shit.
Oh God,
that would be rough. You wouldn't be able to get a word in edgewise.
That'd be the new millennium romper room.
It would be Momo versus the Richard show. We would just be there.
Hey, the crazy part, I was supposed to be there.
I know. He told me, but you don't want to drive there, or something. You don't want to drive through the traffic or something. So.
Yeah, my wife. I didn't want to leave my wife at the hotel.
Yeah,
she didn't want to go.
Yeah, I don't blame her. But yeah. So how does everybody feel in the chat about your team? It's basically Eagle fans and Dallas fans and some Commando fans. And I still don't have many Giant people other than Jesse. It's like crazy. I'm sure they're watching.
Man on the island.
Jesse, Scatterboo. I don't know how he's going to do, but in long term, I don't see him being there in the NFL long term. For me,
I don't know, man. I think he reminds me a little bit of Joe Morris.
Yeah, Joe. I'm saying he's going.
Yeah, Tim
Tebow.
Break
down.
Definitely.
Tim Tebow. That's exactly. That's what he reminds me.
You ain't throwing that Tebow curse on me.
He's a hell of a.
I say 3 to 4 years he'll be in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm not a big Scatterboo fan.
That's a usual thing for running back nowadays, anyway. You think about it.
I want to touch on a few things. We'll stay on for a little bit, but I'm not going to be late. I got to get up early. Giants won't exercise Evan Neal's 5th-year option. So that's basically saying he's playing for a contract and most likely not with the Giants going forward.
It's a show me. It's a show me.
But I mean, he's in a situation when you don't exercise the 5th-year option, 90% of the time you have two choices. To have a bad year, you're not coming back. Have a good year, you ain't coming back. There you go.
Yeah, I hope he has a good year so we can dangle him like a carrot and get something else.
2-1 Philly. 1 out.
All right.
I have a question for Jesse.
Yes,
Jesse, Jason Dodd, I swear he's kind of, I don't know what it is about him. The aura I see from him remind me of your last quarterback.
Daniel
He is not Danny Dimes. Not Danny Dimes.
I don't know why I gave him a nickname. He wasn't that good to begin with.
I don't know why they gave him the nickname too. I didn't pick him.
Danny Penny. He was throwing dimes out there.
He was throwing.
Let me get to the next one here. This is kind of an interesting thing. I'm actually surprised about this. I'm actually surprised about Howie Roseman on this one. Howie Roseman's pissed. Howie Roseman on Dallas Goddard. He's part of the team as we speak. I mean, it's post-draft. We're not keeping him now? I mean, what's going on? Eagle fans, please tell me. What's going on with Howie and Dallas Goddard? I know that he wants him to take a pay cut, correct? What's up, Stephen White? How are you, brother?
What's up, Blue?
What's up, Blue?
What's going on, you guys?
Howie Roseman on Dallas Goddard. He's part of the team as we speak. It's not a glowing endorsement.
Those 3 words there became
Daniel
time as we speak.
Disappointed. Okay, Momo, you're too.
He's also said that he was willing to trade him, doing all that stuff. So I don't think he's embarrassed of actually saying that out in public. So I don't know. I think it may be part of a strategy.
He might be dangling him like a carrot.
Yeah.
Hunter Renfro's coming back. Hunter Renfro agrees to join the Panthers. Wow, interesting. Hunter Renfro's back in the league.
You want to pair
hold
with
on a second, guys.
McMillan.
Let's see here.
Hey, Aisha.
Dre Greenlaw. This isn't good, people. This isn't good. Dre Greenlaw coming off that bad knee. This is kind of a
Where did he sign?
Denver.
He signed with the Broncos, and everybody. I wanted him. He injured his quadriceps bad today. He's going to be out 2 months at least.
Oh my goodness!
So, but it's I believe it's a quadricep in the same leg that he had the ACL. Kind of like where Dak was going, with his leg. Once you start, that's exactly why you saw the transformation in Dak. He's at least trying to stem the tides of father time and injuries, and once your body starts to fail,
Yeah, and keep that weight off.
Yeah, so at least I give him credit. It's not easy to do.
I do give him credit for that.
Yeah, you have to give him. He's trying, but Drake Greenlaw, he's out the next 2 months at least with a torn quad. So that's not good.
He just torn it on the offseason?
Thanks, West Virginia. I appreciate the support, brother. Just now, he just did it. Yeah, working out. I guess I don't know what he was doing. He was pulling what's his name?
The sled?
Shannon Sharp. Like he threw something out in the boudoir. I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm curious about, was that in the facility or was he on? Because maybe that's in his contract. I remember many years ago with Doug Williams. When Doug Williams hurt himself and broke something in the bathtub, and on the Washington Redskins at the time didn't want to pay him for the medical, because he said you broke it doing something else. It was not covered in your contract.
Jennifer Lee Chan of NBC Sports Bay Area reports that linebacker Dre Greenlaw tore a torn quad while working out. The injury could force him to miss a substantial portion of the 2025 season. It is unknown whether Greenlaw will require surgery to repair it. It was his Achilles. Greenlaw tore his Achilles in Super Bowl to end the 2023 season. Most of last season before the brief return. So again, who knows? But they don't say where he hurt it. But it doesn't. It says he should be back in time for training camp. But yeah, who knows about?
Hmm.
Who really knows? You know, who really knows about it?
That's
So
not good.
it's not good.
No, it's not good, Randy. It's not good.
Meat off the bone. Ouchie.
And also because he hurt himself, and then he goes to training camp, he can't put a whole lot of pressure on his
That's
legs.
the
And he gets
thing.
it.
He's going to start out
On the pup list.
Yeah, he'll start out on the pup.
I think he'll miss 4 games or 6 games because of that.
I agree with you.
I say 6.
Being
Well,
a
who
linebacker and being very physical as he
Yep.
is, you can't just cut and dart like that. It
No.
don't work.
No, it
Your
doesn't.
leg's the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
Shador Sanders drama fuels 40% spike in Friday night viewership. Now, I wanted to touch on this briefly. You know, I don't know if anybody saw Big Sills on.
Oh, you see, yeah, Momo. I don't know how you tolerated that one, boy. That was a mess.
What are you talking about?
Mark Holmes.
No, I didn't.
No,
say
I was on there and I said what I said.
Holmes.
If you heard what I said, I meant what I said.
Listen, I don't care what anybody's opinion is, but I just don't know how it has turned into a racial thing. No, I could be off base. Now, Momo, I'm not.
It's not a racial thing, especially when 2 other black quarterbacks went out before him.
Exactly, number 1.
Oh, no. We're not talking about that. We're not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I'm not
Leo
saying you
said
are.
that.
Oh, I don't even know. I'm not even.
We're not talking about you.
I'm not even talking about Mark's chat. I'm talking about if you look on Dan Cilio on Twitter, I didn't notice it. Was there really? I mean, did
Okay.
Let me finish.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm an African American, and most people in the African American community,
I guess not,
believe that, and I do believe that the NFL, the 32 owners, did it on purpose. Owners did it on purpose because you can't. It's just.
Who was the number one pick in the draft? I don't know. What against him?
Just let me say this. If he did bad on the test, he came in bravado, and they gave him this test, and he couldn't name a play, and he was all just like that when they do this interview and what have you. That's fine. That's fine. That happened. Others who have bad interviews, they get hired. He was a top 5 draft pick.
Says who? Says analyst. That's what it's saying. You are going off of what other people are saying. There is nothing in his college career. He did not go to any playoffs. He didn't win any state championships. He didn't win any of that stuff. He didn't win anything.
Phil, let me finish my statement. I understand you want to get at me.
A national title guy.
Yeah. Here's the thing about he played when the Jackson State. He did well. The numbers went up. So he went to Colorado. The numbers he impacted Colorado.
No, Deion impacted
Colorado.
Yes,
Deion impacted Colorado.
Oh, yes,
Deion
he did.
impacted
He played on a bad team with a bad offensive line, and bad running back, and a bad team. So he made a lot of comebacks in the 2 years he did play there.
And those teams could have been better with a better quarterback.
All right, let me finish my thought. I wasn't even getting into that. I was
no. But I mean, I get it. I totally get this side of it. But I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
but in
I
that
just
sense,
wanted to get to why I brought it up. I don't even. All I'm saying is I missed a whole hullabaloo with the analyst on ESPN, Mel Kiper. When supposedly, I'm not here.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I'm not here to say whether it is or it isn't. I'm not, and you're welcome to your opinion. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, what did anybody see this? That the ESPN really went out of their way to kind of shape that narrative, and now Momo he's allowed to believe what he could believe.
Oh yeah,
he's
definitely.
Phil's allowed to believe. I mean, Phil's a Spanish guy. We got. Jesse's a Spanish guy. I'm white. Virus is white. Big D. Listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just was surprised that ESPN went that hot and heavy and went racial. I didn't see it. I don't
think ESPN. I think it's more of an individual.
They just want the ratings.
Jesse, what did you think? Now, you're not black, so you can't speak to it, but you know what I'm saying. I didn't think...
My daughter's black, so I could relate.
Yeah, well, again, I have 2...
I'm just saying...
I'm not going to get into it, but I have 2 nieces and nephews that aren't white, so we'll just leave it
exactly.
at that. But,
the thing is, ESPN is about ratings. They want to throw the coal in the hot fire and watch it burn. This
I
is what it
just think
was
it was
about.
bullshit that they had
It
to
was.
use that platform. Now, I agree with Momo. I mean, not agree with him, but I respect his opinion.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I could tell Mark was on board with it. So again, something happened. Something happened, Phil, because he didn't drop from number 3 down to the 5th round. But then you're hearing about how unbelievably bad his interview went. Right? He's working out with a at Shedeur Sanders jersey on, and not just Sanders. You know, everything is a marketing tool.
Yeah,
I don't know if you drop 5 rounds for that, though.
I agree with Momo in the sense that the league does get together and they do. If they're going to punish somebody or do something like that, they will band
get
together
to that. Yes,
to do that. Because I've seen that. I mean, to me, that made sense with Des Bryant a little bit. You know, when Des got released, how the hell wasn't he picked up? I was like, you know, what's going on? I think it was more of a, hey, can you make sure you don't pick him up? I need to make sure I teach him something. I don't know. I mean, there could have been something there.
Well,
look at Kaepernick. Kaepernick, the same thing.
Do you think
there's right there? Kaepernick is a good example because that is definitely.
Well,
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
There
Yeah.
you go. So Momo, I'm gonna ask Momo this now. Do you think when Dion ran his mouth, okay, prior to the draft, saying my son don't want to play for Cleveland, that was just
help.
There was
It didn't. 2 factors personally. It was that marked by Dion. And the most important thing to me, his attitude and he come in with these entourage. Now everybody has an entourage. If it's family or friends, these players come in with 4 or 5 folks.
But
I think his bravado, showing the goal and flaunting that, and NFL don't want that no more.
Momo's on to something.
Yeah.
I
know who he reminds me of?
But I still think that's still no reason not to pick him.
Yeah. I would say this, Momo. I still believe in my heart it wasn't because he was black.
No. It got nothing to do with.
You know why I think it was?
Because it was
like
a
Jaden
statement.
Smith.
Yes, it was a statement by the NFL saying, "You may be Deion Sanders' kid. You may be at Shedeur Sanders with your podcast. Literally, Momo. Literally, he walks around with guys filming 24/7.
Yeah.
You may be that guy." But we're gonna drop you down a notch.
I think, and he also should realize this: when he went into that interview, he couldn't take that camera to the interview, and that's what that's what I heard. That somebody try to come in when the interview with the camera, the guy who always who does the camera work for him, filmer where he goes. He tried to come to the interview.
He did try to do it with the Giants too. He tried to do it with the Giants. Giants said, "No, we ain't doing this."
So Park says you're interviewing for a job. Be respectful to teams who give you an opportunity.
Exactly.
I question his inability to be able to say things like when they were like. Remember we saw those Giants like back when the draft was last year and Daniels went in there and he was like, okay, write your best play that you like and stuff like that. You know, that's his thing. He can tell you what the play is and okay, now repeat this play back to me and stuff like that. I think those are the ones that he failed at, you know, those type of stuff. If he's not kind of like,
but don't they do this? Hey, Phil, don't they do this? When you in our interview, they put a play up on the screen for you to go back and they go tell you
and try to reread it. Yeah.
Tell me what was that play and what would you have done differently on that play when that safety or that lineman came up or somebody came up, some type of scenario like that. Don't they do that in the interview?
Yeah, definitely.
Linda Conyers brings up a good point. She says these owners will never let a player portray that they are bigger than the business. And I think, again, I just didn't want anybody to say, well, because he was black. It had nothing to do with that. It was because he was an absolute...
I was a mark doing my rant. I did not say that. I
didn't hear anything. I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying... What Dan Cilio said, ESPN made it racial. I didn't see that. It's hard for me.
Yeah, I saw it.
I mean,
I saw Mel Kiper and him getting into it.
So okay,
now,
so they made it racial.
I will say this.
This
There's
is
a lot
the
of
wrong
social
time
media
to be doing
out
that.
there are saying that, and then Stephen A. Smith.
They're allowed.
He alluded to, but he didn't say it.
Yeah, he said it too. Yeah, he did allude.
And
to
then,
it.
the Shannon Sharp, on his podcast with Ocho, they definitely Ocho definitely said something about it, and he did allude to that fact.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because it seems like
What?
it seems like we make one step forward and 2, 3, 4 steps back when shit like this happens.
I can't help the man. I can't do none of that. I'm just a fan.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he
Phillies
got
won.
drafted. He just
3-1,
got to
baby.
prove
It's over.
himself now.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. Let's just
Yeah.
prove yourself. Prove the dollars wrong.
I think ultimately Momo, I know this may sound stupid.
I don't know.
but
I don't think he's
it'll
going to
help him.
start.
I think it'll help him. I just don't know what Cleveland's doing because Cleveland has how many quarterbacks, Phil?
When the place they go to die, or the careers go to die.
Phil, how many quarterbacks?
5, I think. 4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. I mean,
Well,
they're
they
up
got
there. Watson. They got Joe.
Watson's not going to play
Flacco.
this year, though.
Watson's done.
I think he will.
No, he's still hurt.
No, he got hurt.
He's back.
Yeah,
I thought he was back.
No,
again.
no,
he got
no.
re-hurt. That's right.
No,
he did.
he's
He got
out.
re-injured. Yeah, that's right.
Phil, we got
Got
Watson.
re-injured.
Yeah.
And who else did they
Flacco.
get?
They got Flacco.
Flacco.
Yes,
they
Flacco.
Watson is out. Yeah,
They
signed
drafted
Flacco.
a quarterback before they drafted Shador, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
So they
did.
got.
Yeah,
But
they
here's
did.
the thing. It'll be his best interest to sit and learn for the first year.
That's what Dart's going to do.
He might be trade bait.
That's what I think. I think Phil just hit it. I think he's going to be trade bait.
Later on in the court, some team's going to get. They need somebody, and then he's sitting there ready.
What team needs somebody at this point?
Well, not saying now.
Not now.
All of a sudden,
Jets.
injuries,
Kenny
things like
Pickett,
that down
that's
the
it,
road.
Aisha. Vinny.
Man, be quite
Jets.
frank with you, the best fit for
And
him was
Gabriel.
New Orleans.
Phil, they
He
drafted
should have went to
Dylan
New
Gabriel.
Orleans.
They drafted
And here's the
Dylan
most
Gabriel.
important
Yeah, they
thing
did,
I want
didn't
to say
they?
about y'all guys.
And they got
He
Kenny
did
Pickett
not.
in a
He
trade.
didn't have an agent. He didn't have an agent
he
to
did.
let
It was
him
his
know what they
dad.
was talking about. Dion was not his
Woke
agent.
says Cleveland's the cemetery for NFL careers. Now let me
Yeah, where
just
they gonna
touch on
die.
this. Let's
Phil,
transition. Let's
Phil, what I'm going
It
to say
is.
that everybody kept saying Deion Sanders was his agent. No, Deion Sanders was never an agent. That was him joking when the sons, both the Shiloh and him, say, "Hey, my dad is my agent." Deion was never their agent.
Hey,
I don't
Phil.
think he had an agent.
Yeah, they don't want to pay that
Phil.
little nut.
Hey, Phil. Brian, I think what the NFL is doing is trying to just make sure these players don't be like the NBA where their inmates run the asylum. Because the NBA is a hot mess with those players. They do what they want.
I hear what you're saying, but I think Deion. It all was started when he said, "Yeah, my kid don't want to play. He wants to play for a warm city. He don't want to go to Cleveland." I just
That's
think
what
it's
started
funny.
it, Brian.
the father-
That's exactly what started it.
But
Think about
remember,
Yeah,
in
because they didn't
NBA,
want another.
We
They
gotta
didn't
talk
want.
numbers
They didn't
again,
want
okay.
another situation. What happened to the Mannings, and they will never want
Yes,
to go through that.
I
again.
agree. That all is connected. I agree with that. Everything y'all
I
just
mean, they got
said.
Dylan Gabriel. They got now. Listen, Joe Flacco is going to be here and gone, so he's not
he
going
might
to
be
be here.
gone,
I mean, after this year, they
He's gonna
just
make more
re-signed
babies.
Watson, but they could probably move him. Maybe I'm sure at some point.
He owes. He got Watson owes over $34 million, and then he gets in his final year. They owe him 40. So what they
Yeah,
gonna do with that?
Well, again, you could move or trade him next year, but he's not going to
Who's
play
gonna
this
take all that money?
for $40 million. Is actually a bargain. You'd be surprised, but they'll probably have to eat some of it.
Well,
so
go
let's-
to Dallas then. Jerry like to pay.
whatever. But what I'm trying to say is they got Dylan Gabriel, they have Shador Sanders, and they'll have Kenny Pickett.
It'd be like
So
the Vikings or something.
Those are what you'll have going forward
Yeah.
after this.
Oh, that's
upcoming
why I
year.
forget they got Kenny Pickens there.
Yeah.
Forget.
Yeah. But anyway, let's
Hey.
change this. Let's stay on Shador, but this is where I feel really bad for him. But I didn't realize it was the son of Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator who's the one that called and pranked Shador Sanders.
Yeah. I
And
saw that.
and they're finding out that number was connected with other players that they were pranking.
Now, my thing to you is, don't you think there should be some discipline to the now? The NFL has come out and said no discipline will be made to Atlanta.
What?
To Atlanta. Now, this was a son of the defensive coordinator. I think that's bullshit. I think
Because that was a private number. They give those guys those
not
numbers.
only that, it was uncomfortable listening to it. I know I was. I know a lot of young kids thought it was funny. That was not funny.
There's
Anybody
nothing
in
funny
here?
about that.
You find that funny?
That's like calling a bomb threat.
But I
Don't
mean,
take that
this
serious
is a
now.
dude who's
You're
already
messing.
got enough stress on him,
Yeah, I
and now
agree,
he's
Brian.
drafted, and they go, "Well, we ain't drafting you either." I could see why it's funny on the surface, but to Shador, who is a very nice kid, okay, he's got caught up into something, the Sanders machine, and I think we dodged a bullet, Phil and Randy. I
do
think we
too.
dodged a bullet,
Me.
not getting him.
Me.
Right, Phil? Do you think
Dallas
Yeah,
was
he would
never
he
going to
would have been
pick
our
him.
149 pick.
He would have been the
What's
next
up,
pick
Bruce?
for us. Yes, he would have been our
You
pick.
might-
That's
no,
why they
you might-
ran into the board and jumped in front of us.
I'm glad we didn't get him.
But I just
Hey,
think
Jeff.
that the owner, because his son got the
What's up,
number.
Harold?
I feel like somebody should be done now. I guess his son took himself off of social media, a couple of social media pages, because he's getting all this wrath and people on
It's
campus is
crazy.
on him, and everybody's jumping down his throat. Well, they should, but I just still think something should be done. A big fine. I guess they're gonna do it behind closed doors. A huge fine.
Mark
I mean, with
Custon, game time,
suspension.
mute Momo. He's playing with you. Go ahead.
I think this behind closed doors they're gonna do something.
But why would you blame the father? The father had nothing to do with it.
Yes, he did. He had the number.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of like, no, I'm not. You know,
His father had the number. Those the numbers they give private numbers.
I just don't understand why the NFL isn't doing
to
shit.
all the folks they're going to draft. They give them our
Oh, I didn't know
Well, here you
that.
go, George
I-
DC for life. Let's get George's opinion. He's a cameraman for Fox. George, do you think that there should? Well, you probably can't say it, but I don't know. Everybody, do you think there should be in the chat? Should Atlanta Falcons have to pay some sort of penalty?
I think they should, because
think they
listen
should.
here, you're talking
Yeah.
about somebody's
Yes.
freaking career. You're
Yes, I
messing with
believe
their
so.
head, and you're
Stop talking,
supposed to be
Jesse, over 'em.
excited about this stuff. And for somebody to come and do that to you, that's not funny. That's not funny
That
at
isn't.
all. And you're messing with somebody's money and their lifeline. They've worked their whole life to get here, and you mess their freaking the time that they're supposed to be proud of what's going on, and you fuck with their head. That's messed
You
up.
agree? I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's
hey,
like,
Jesse, you
I
can
think
talk
people
now.
don't is missing that the person, the defensive coordinator, who he was, they give the phones to them. It's a private number, so they could call. So anybody could call. So he had the number, and so if you called it, how did he get the number? He got it from his dad.
Well, I think the NFL is going to probably investigate this, and behind
Yeah.
closed doors, I think somebody's head is going to roll. I just do. I mean,
Somebody
it
should get fired behind it.
Well,
Yes,
quite
somebody
frankly,
should. I agree with
If
you.
I'm a
Disciplinary.
Sanders, I would want some. Listen, I know this sounds weird.
Restitution.
Public
yeah.
apology.
Yeah, it's almost like adding insult to injury. You're already having your worst. Listen, please don't jump down my throat. But as far as Shador, it's arguably the worst day in his life. I understand he's still in the NFL. He's still a millionaire, but he was considered to be the 3rd overall pick. There was a time, Phil, that he was considered possibly being the 1st overall pick. He was a Heisman runner-up. I don't know. Was he a Heisman runner-up? He was in the conversation.
Yeah,
right?
he was. Yeah, he was second.
Thanks, Phil.
He was
Thanks.
second.
Go ahead, Jesse. Just go, and then
Wrestling
we'll
with
let
you,
Phil
Jesse.
go next.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, you're
Go ahead.
good, man.
No, I was saying that at one time he was second, and he just started dropping like a fly. I'm like, whoa. Probably
Man, because
of his,
remember, I made the prediction game time that he was going to drop to 23, and y'all didn't
If
believe
it
me
was
when I
the
said that.
Yes, Mark Huston says it right. Phil, do you agree or disagree? Phil, if it was Cowboys, they would have been fined.
Oh, heck yeah. Definitely.
Oh yeah,
I
I agree.
always say
We'd
that.
have
Why
lost
do
the
y'all
draft
always say
choice.
that?
I
Lost
can't
the draft
get an
choice.
answer
Yeah,
from
exactly.
Phil, but yes, thank you.
They would have definitely lost the draft choice.
It's
I
just
think
like
that would
9
have been
o'clock,
more
nobody
accurate.
join in. Fucking 5 guys.
Well, I do. I said this, and Jesse and everybody. This is what I believe. I think the game against the Des Bryant catch against Green Bay in that playoff game was the NFL
Yeah.
punishing Jerry Jones because they didn't want them to win that game,
So-
and they wanted to tell the referee, tell them no catch.
So, Randy, what do you think
Oh,
about
no.
that? Do you think that they should be? Do you
Oh.
think that there should be some heads roll, Randy?
Oh yeah, I think somebody should. I think the NFL should investigate, and I think somebody should be fired. I mean, when you start playing with people's minds, and the man was already having a bad
Yeah, I
day,
mean,
bad 2 or 3
As
days.
an athlete, it was probably his lowest point ever.
It had to be,
Had
and
to
you know,
be.
people don't think about this, but
You
you
got
know,
friggin'.
remember what happened to Kyron Lacey?
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
got depressed.
Ooh.
And
Well,
killed
this
him.
could go into
Yeah.
depression too.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but you know, let's be grown men around here. The problem today with everything that we've just talked about is all this politically correct bull crap. And just
Amen.
man to man, you say something and you shake hands, and that's the way it's supposed to be. But
Amen.
unfortunately, we've gotten away from all of that these days.
Oh
and
shit,
all these
Twiz. I can
What did
do
he
the
say?
jerky boys. I bring my tools. I start tomorrow. No, but this is different, Twiz. I mean, like, yeah, the jerky boys. That was classic. A rat
All
you
I'm
in the head
saying
with a
is we've just
ratchet.
gotten
But
away.
yeah, I mean, but this is different, Twiz. This is on a grand scale. But to Twiz's point, I know what he's saying. Not to mention, the Sanders bring it on themselves, do they not?
Yes.
They
When
bring
they
it on
started saying,
themselves.
I don't know if I'm going to go to that team. Come on now, you're
My
putting
thing,
yourself
Twiz,
out
is
there.
this. I'm not saying I feel sorry for the kid. I'm saying this wasn't a person who got the number off a college campus. This was a son of a defensive coordinator from another NFL team who got the number illegally, basically, looking through the team Rolodex or whatever the hell. That's where I'm saying it's wrong.
It was
If
a
it was just
it was a
innocent-
telephone they give all the telephone he
okay.
called them on, the telephone they give all the people in the draft.
And Brian,
that's
I
where
don't know
I think
if-
the problem is, Twiz. That's where I think the problem is.
Yeah, and Brian, I don't know if you know this, but they found that the same number that called someone else about the same thing. So
Oh,
these
wow.
numbers got out somehow.
Well,
It wasn't
again-
just one person, it was 3 people now that I've heard.
I bring my
Must be
tools. I
investigation.
start tomorrow.
Yep.
Somebody can lose their job now.
Well,
If there's
Yep.
three,
Might be a couple.
Yeah, I think that's
Might be a
very
couple people
possible.
losing their jobs.
I think that's very possible. Let's see. It is. Twiz says it's in it to have public outrage. I hate today's world. I'm just saying, Twiz. I don't think it's right from an NFL team to do it, like a son of an
Oscar
NFL
said he
team.
did a video. I guess he apologized on YouTube.
Well, that was
That's not going to do nothing.
That's
again.
not-
Well, damage is done already.
Yeah, that's
Damage is done because he thought he was being drafted. Now he's going to be on every joke again. You say what you want, but he's a public figure, so it hurts him more than it would hurt me or Twiz or anybody else. We don't give it, And if you do it to the
because
wrong
I would have
person,
hung up.
if you
because
do
I
it
was
to the
saying, how
wrong
you get
person
this
in real
number?
life, you might get shot. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Nowadays, people are shooting people for, cutting them off in traffic or whatever. Road rage is real. So
Oh,
this-
yeah, plenty around here.
So you never know. George
I would,
DC
I
for
would,
life.
I would hate. I mean, I don't like some of their bravado with
The
the
boy got it
Sanders.
off his dad's computer, says Mark Hutchinson.
And then they talk to their dad like they as adults. I don't like that kind of talking with parents and kids.
I was always brought up, Momo, to like after dinner, when the adults were there, the kids had to go away. The kids had
Yes.
to go and go.
You-
My mom would say,
Yes.
"Okay, it's the adults. You don't sit at the table."
I didn't
that's-
sit.
I was old school. We grew up.
It was just crazy. I said this the other day when I had Thanksgiving dinner, and I was 13 years old. I had to go to the kids' table. I didn't sit with the
Yep.
grown folks at the main table.
Yep.
I
Me
was
too.
even in a more strict household. My father, we weren't allowed to have the TV
it's
on
too many.
or nothing.
Jesse, you agree with me on this?
Keep
It's
talking.
too many people. It's
That's
too
all right.
many
Don't worry
mothers
about
and
me.
fathers calling these kids. Oh, that's my best friend. I don't
Oh
want to
yeah.
hear.
Oh yeah. We call that. Remember, they call that the bro syndrome. Oh, bro. I ain't your
And
brother.
Mama's my best friend. My dad is my best friend. Ain't no way you gonna be my best friend.
No, negative.
Tulpa, in a
That's it.
comparison to the last couple of years, I'm overall happy with our moves. We need a wide receiver still, and sooner the better. The timing, practice, the playbook. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I was a little taken back by Jerry Jones's after the draft. Wow.
Oh, he said I see somebody posted something.
Well, hold on. Let
He
me
said the
finish my thought. Let me finish my
Falcons
thought.
statement said that he
Or
found
not.
Dad's open laptop and wrote the number down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, yeah, I was just saying. What was I saying, Phil? I lost my
about
train of thought.
Dallas. About Dallas.
Yeah. What was I saying, everybody?
This guy was saying a statement over here. One of the guys on
Oh yeah,
chat.
Jerry Jones. That's it. Jerry Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, Jerry Jones basically said we're gonna look at our team, and if we feel the need that we need somebody, we'll go make
Here
an
we go.
addition. So again, it didn't sound like they were in a hurry to do it, which I'm a little annoyed at, but whatever. Again, Mingo. Mark Hutchinson says Mingo. In Mingo we trust. So we'll see. I was telling Phil, or no, I think it was, I don't know, Wade maybe. Maybe it was Wade when Phil left and Wade came in the other night. Yesterday. It seems like a week ago, but yesterday. I told Wade, I said, if we bring in just a veteran corner just to stem the tide, like a Gilmore, I know he's not what he was, but just to come in and be able to be there. If you go out and you get a defensive lineman starter at the one tech, so these other guys can then rotate in, and then go out and get a veteran wide receiver. If you were to give me those three moves before the season, I would feel really good. We would still have to see what guys are going to do, but I don't know that they're going to do that. So I think they're going to take some time here and see what they got and through mini camps. I'm a little concerned.
I like to say, what is Pittsburgh doing? Are they counting on Rodgers to be their quarterback?
Because we're hearing Pickens to Dallas, but I don't buy it.
They did pick a quarterback, didn't they?
No.
Are you sure they didn't pick one in the free agents? The free.
Oh yeah, they got Will Howard. No.
Yeah, they got Howard.
Yeah, they
Howard.
drafted Will Howard.
I love Will Howard.
They drafted him.
I was so wrong
He's
about
potential.
him.
He's got potential.
Rodgers is going to end up signing there.
Rodgers will be there. It'll be Rodgers, Howard, and whoever else they got.
The coach of that team has put up with so many divas and allowed them to run roughshod.
One thing I want to ask Momo is in the draft, y'all didn't draft any linemen. And how are y'all going to stop the run? I know we're bad at stopping the run.
We're not.
That's
the question.
How are y'all going to stop the run?
Yeah,
y'all didn't pick up no tackles or anything.
I know. We ain't going to stop the run. They're going to be 38-32 games, 45-41 games.
Mason Rudolph. That's it, Flip. What's up, Flip? How you doing, brother?
I was just surprised that y'all didn't draft a D tackle.
Too. We needed defensive linemen.
You shocked me.
But the Giants, I'm gonna say congratulations because they're gonna be a beast of a team defensively.
Daniel,
thank you, Momo. But we're still in progress and work still. We're still in work in progress.
Oh yeah. Waiting
and
on
Peyton
those
Manning still ain't
trades,
gonna get in the Hall of Fame.
Right? Yeah.
Peyton is in the Hall of Fame. Talk about Eli, he's going in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, he ain't going.
Yeah, you and your dementia. Okay.
Hey, Brian, great job over the weekend. By
Thanks,
the way,
man. I appreciate it. It was long, man.
I feel like y'all were looking tired.
Well,
we're beat.
I was who left? I guess Phil.
Bill.
Bye, Phil. Thanks for saying bye. I guess you couldn't get
happy
a word.
trail.
Yeah, I'm
happy
about
trails, Phil.
to head on out too, guys.
All right, Momo. I'll talk to you. Thank you.
Hey,
right.
game time.
Yes.
Game time. Do you like that idea I gave you when I text you?
Remind me.
The 3 Tylers, the Great Wall of Tyler?
Yeah, no, not really. No, it's not one of your better moments. No, I don't know. We got to come up with a name with the 3 Tylers. I think Mark Hudson had a decent name. 3 T's and a BB. So
3 T's and a BB.
Yeah.
That's going to be banned.
Did you watch the ride to pick 12? I did not, Clemente. I did not, brother. I got to. I haven't did. Actually, today I kind of slept in a little bit. Then I went out and did some errands, and then I came home. I didn't get everything I needed to get done, but I put together a deck box. I did some yard work out back and hopped in a jacuzzi for an hour, and then
No wonder you hopped in a jacuzzi.
I took a shower, and then I went live. So
I would be curious to know how many people the draft was down being in Green
I
Bay
know they
this
did.
year.
What's
There
that?
had to have been a lot less people in the, show up for the draft this year being in Green Bay. It didn't look like it was full.
Yeah.
They probably were the same people. They kept going back into second day, third day.
I'll check it out, Clemente. George, DC for life. Hey, Drew, Dallas has been 8 Super Bowls and won 5 and also won 8 NFC Championship. Just saying why Eagles have a long way to go to take a win and move on. Yeah, I don't even, George, I hear what you're saying, but nobody really cares about that anymore. It's about what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
And they're right.
Yeah.
It's about winning now, George. We got to stop relying on what we did years ago.
I agree.
We need to
You learn from the past. You learn from the past. You don't try to live it.
What I would say is just keep holding the team accountable. I think they had a good draft. Again, we were never going to get every piece fixed. And what has held this team back has been Jerry. I agree with all the comments that until Jerry's gone, they're not going to win a Super Bowl. I would agree with you. But that doesn't mean that it can happen, but the odds are it won't happen. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means you kind of have to get lucky, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah. So again, we're all going to root for them, but until they address, okay, we are at a certain level. Now let's go. And I'll be honest with everybody. And if we're allowed to be excited at times, because life's short, we're allowed to be excited. There's no guarantees, but I will tell you if it's a major deal. And I don't know. Randy, do you see a major deal coming? I mean, I'm not trying to be negative, but do you see, I mean, let's face it, they have almost $38 million now. And then when they re-sign Micah, they're going to get another 12 at least. So they're going to have $50 million this year under the cap.
I think we're going to sign our own players back is what I think they're going to use that money for.
But
I don't see a big deal coming, Brian.
I see some sort of trade. I do.
Pickens maybe from the Steelers?
I don't know that they would go that route because of the mental, but do we, like my question to anybody in the chat, because there's some smarter people than me, do we have any connection to Pickens, or did any of our coaches know him? Because I'm hearing a lot of Pickens, but I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't. I know he's a head case. That's what scares me with him.
Yeah, that's been said. That's been said. He's got a little mental issue.
He does.
I agree, Vinny. I do know that Cortland Sutton is a real possibility for Dallas. They've been trying to get him for a couple years. Very good player, would fit great, runs good routes, not young. He'll be 30, so I guess it's all about the comp. I would, I don't, again, I think he's 29 years old. I know Dallas doesn't want to. I think it would take probably a 3rd-round pick. That's
I agree with you.
What I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes, it's got to be a 1. No, I don't even think it has to be a 2, but I think it'd have to be a 3.
Yes.
And I don't know that Dallas would give a 3. Whereas at Jeffrey Simmons, you would need to give a 2. So, who would you rather have, a Jeffrey Simmons or a Cortland Sutton? I think Dallas would probably rather have a Cortland Sutton. But I don't know. That's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I think either one of them would be.
I would
a good
give up
move.
a 4th. We'd give it up every year. I don't know that would be enough, Clemente. That's my thing. We might have to sweeten it with a player that they might want, but let's be honest. Who? Maybe some linemen? TJ Bass and a 4th? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. And it hurt us this year not having a 4th. We could have really used that 4th this year.
Yeah. So
I don't know what they're planning on doing. I mean, Jerry did say that they're still
That's
in
what I'm
talks
thinking,
about a
Daniel.
trade.
Yeah, I
So
think they're going to do something, Randy, but I don't know that it'll be. I think it'll be, if I had to guess, don't count on Jeffrey Simmons because it's going to cost you a second. They're
Yeah,
not
I
giving
know.
up a second. But look for a Cortland Sutton type of deal, whether it's Cortland Sutton, whether it's Pickens. I don't think they would do, but he's a beast. I mean, you can be honest.
Miami?
If you could get his head right, I'd take Pickens.
Or the guy in Miami.
Yeah,
Tyreek Hill.
He would have to have he would have to get a vasectomy though for me.
Well, I'll scoop him up. I'll scoop him up. We'll take him.
The women of Frisco, run. Hide your women
in
and
a
children.
heartbeat. Yeah, bring him to New York.
Yeah,
plenty
I know
of women.
that,
Plenty
Drew.
of
It would be more
prostitutes.
than a fourth. I'm talking for Sutton, it'd probably be a third.
I'll tell you what, right
I'm
now,
not sure.
I would take Jeffrey Simmons in a heartbeat. You know how good that dang defense would be good?
I know.
You know how good we would be on defense?
That makes too much sense.
I know, but God Almighty, we would be good. Put him and put Overshone and Micah in the middle. You put the new defensive end on the one side, and you put the other defensive end. Can't think of his name. Got him from Washington. On the other side, my God, we would be good.
Yeah.
Well, Randy, you guys, Dallas has plenty of money. Jesus, they could get anybody right now.
Mark Hudson says at this point, Cowboys will not pick up trouble players. I agree with you, and normally I would say nah, but with this coaching staff and the type of people, that's why I keep telling you Cortland Sutton, because I know that they've had discussion over the player. So I'm kind of looking for something like that to happen. Now, we could look at, before we get out of here, we could revisit now. We know what we drafted, right? Let's look into Spotrac here. Let me bring up, I got to find it. I know I have it somewhere.
Thanks, West Virginia.
I think I have Spotrac. Huh.
For everybody that's on here, I did send Brian a video yesterday of our third-round draft pick, Ravel, and he looks good right now. He's going to be ready for the start of the season.
Oh, yeah, he's running on a
treadmill, and he's running full speed.
Yeah.
He's running full speed.
I think I seen that at ESPN. I think I did.
Yeah,
and
he's
the
on one
coaches-
of those. It's not a powered treadmill. It's one of those treadmills that
It's a curved one. I've never really seen one like that
Randy,
before.
I've actually used them. It's as fast as you go is as fast as it'll go. It's not powered.
Mm-hmm.
You use your legs to power it. But yes, he was flying. So West Virginia says Simmons, yes, Randy. Well, yeah, I think that would be what you would want, but I just don't see that. It's going to be one of them players we're always going to want to have, and we're never going to get
I know it.
We're never going to get him. Willie Vassar, I would not want Hill. He is a cancer. I agree. I'm just throwing out guys that you could probably get. But Spotrac, here we go, everybody. I want to media share this. I'll minimize us a little bit. There we go. Spotrac, let's go with wide receiver, right? Free agents available. We want to go available. You got Keenan Allen. He's 33. 33. Amari Cooper. He's going to play at 31 this year.
Oof.
Deontay Johnson. He's out there. He'll be 29. Robert Woods is 33. Wow, Robert Woods is 33. Eagles know this guy, Nelson Aguilar.
Don't want him at all.
That was a joke.
DJ Chark. Tyler Boyd. Wow, Tyler Boyd's out there. 30 years old.
Look at old Tyler Boyd. I might look at him.
I might look at him. Elijah Moore's out there. He's 25 years old.
He's another one I might look at.
Yeah, I would look at him. That's definite.
You got Jameson Crowder. Hey, I'm just trying to be. That's basically what you're looking at. You got Britton Covey still out there. He's going back to the birds. He's going back to the birds.
That would be funny.
But there's not a lot out there. I see more if it's not a Tyler Boyd or an Amari Cooper, I see a trade. So I would be okay. I know Cooper, I keep hearing he's shot. He's not what he was, but he's still decent. But I don't know that he would be a number 2. So I think if you wanted a number 2, you would have to go out and trade for a number 2. And I think that's very possible.
I do too.
I do think it's possible. Whether it happens, I don't know. Available defensive linemen, just if you wanted, right? I thought they broke it down to interior defense, but I don't see that. So we're just gonna go with it. Like, Raekwon Davis, defensive tackle, Indianapolis. Just looking at this list, nobody really.
No, there's nobody there that we really want.
Jonathan Hankins, would you want him back for a year? I mean,
I would let him sit and see if we need him.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I don't want to spend money.
I like
on
Maurice Hurst. I liked him last year. He's a free agent. He was with Cleveland. Brent Urban, but he's 34 now.
Yeah, no.
So there's not much, right? We had Jordan Phillips, Kyle Pecco. We're not getting him. We just drafted a guy. There's not much there either. So last position I'll look at is corner. Veteran cornerbacks.
Yeah, we signed one for unrestricted. Unsigned.
Let's see. Where am I at here? Cornerback. There we go. Byron Murphy. Oh, no. Sorry. Available. There you go. James Bradbury. No, thank you.
Oh, God.
Actually, Toast as a veteran guy, maybe. Stephon Gilmore is going to be 35.
Wow.
Damn.
I think if they get Stephon Gilmore, then I think it's going to be just for 1 year, and I think it's going to be like, okay, we're going to use you until we can use the other guys, and you're going to be a backup.
Still shocked that Asante Samuel Jr. is out there. I mean,
Asante Samuel Jr.
He's a small guy, late in the ass, not very physical. I don't know. I wouldn't mind a Jalen Mills. He would have to not have his green hair, though, for me.
Mm-hmm.
But like a Jalen Mills will be a veteran guy you could bring in to kind of help a little bit.
Blue hair.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not much here, guys.
No, the free agency this year really wasn't.
It wasn't
great.
Good. No.
And that's why we didn't sign big names. And I hate to say this, but I'm glad now we didn't sign the linebacker because, good God, that would have been $15 million.
Yeah. Should have signed that. He should have signed the running back though.
Well, we should have kept our own running back, but it is what it is.
Mark Hudson says we're rebuilding.
I like Maffa too, so I like both of them running backs.
Mark Hudson says we're rebuilding. We're about a receiver next year. Worry about. I want the guy out of Ohio State. The problem is you're gonna have the number 1 overall pick to get him.
Yeah, you're gonna have to draft in the top 5.
Good luck on that.
Yeah, we're not gonna sniff the top 10 next year. We're not.
I don't
never know with our record. 10. If we get injuries, we might.
Well, but Brian, don't you believe? Because I hear a lot of people say this. If Philly, for instance, if Hurts and AJ Brown go down, they're going down. I don't want to hear all this. Well, they're going to survive and all this other stuff.
No, they won't. No, they won't.
When you have to be lucky to win the Super Bowl these days.
Well, you got to be good too.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong.
It's not like they didn't have injuries. They had injuries. They just didn't have the amount
of injuries that we had. And I'm not saying even if we had not had the injuries, we would have won because we wouldn't have.
Well,
yeah.
Jerry put us in that position.
Randy, they had the perfect storm. Come on. They were like, when they brought Saquon in, they all think, Saquon ain't nothing.
But Jesse, they have a heck of a defense there in Philly. Yes, you know what? I'm not going to take anything from any team. Y'all shored up your defensive line this year, which means big. Big. Y'all aren't far away, Jesse. I'm telling you.
We're not going nowhere this year. We're going to probably give you some game, but not next year. Then I can start talking. But this year, it's good on paper. Let's put it this way: it's good on paper. Let's see it on the gridiron. That's all I'm saying.
And Brian, from what we drafted this year, we drafted mostly defense. I think next year, I don't think we're going to do anything this year. We may make the playoffs, but I think next year we're going to draft strictly offense, and I think we're going to be dangerous next year.
I can see
because
that.
we're just getting younger. We're getting younger.
Yes, we're getting a lot young, and I like that too.
I used to
You know what? It was time to make changes in the locker room. You know,
and
a lot of that other stuff
Correct,
got
Vinny.
old. It got old.
Just
You know,
a
the
little
hot
bit
boys.
of news here. Looking at it, I don't know if you guys saw this. I just happened to click. Detroit Lions annual Thanksgiving Day game to be moved by NFL commissioner. They're going to move it from a 12:30 to 1 o'clock. A shift from traditional 12:30 start. This change aligns the Thanksgiving schedule with a typical Sunday slate. So it'll be a 1 o'clock, a 4:20. So you won't have that gap. So you won't, so you won't be able to eat.
I see what they're doing.
Yeah, so now you don't have a chance to eat it.
All right.
No, you have to eat while watching the game. Who doesn't
Eating
do
a
that
lazy,
anyway?
eating a lazy boy. Eating a lazy boy.
Yeah. I gotta have my food down before I start watching that game, or else I won't eat. So, meaning the Dallas game. But that's it, everybody. I think that was a good show tonight. Back to work tomorrow. I am off Tuesday again. Believe it or not, I'm back on my rotational schedule. But so we'll do stuff. Again, just make sure you have your bell notifications on, because I'll go live at a moment's notice. I try not to do it when Mark's doing it. So you won't see me live at 9 o'clock tomorrow or on Fridays. I'll go before him, or if I'm off the next day, maybe after him. So probably no live tomorrow, but definitely we'll do stuff Tuesday. So, and we'll know more about these free agents. Listen,
Keep
at the
an eye
end
on
of the day,
ESPN.
thanks, George. I appreciate you, brother. At the end of the day, I'm a Cowboys fan. Randy's a Cowboy fan.
Yes.
Big D's a Ravens fan. Jesse's a Giant fan. Drew's an Eagle fan. Again, I hope that everybody, just enjoyed who they got for the draft. Again, no offense to Momo, but he could not be more wrong. Drafting for need is the worst thing you could do, people.
Nah,
sorry, you do not win. And I know he's not here to stick up for himself. Momo, I love you, but here's the deal. I didn't like the Commanders draft. Okay,
they didn't
have enough picks.
Same here. I thought we were like we're gonna get our ass.
If you can't draft in this league, you're not going to win. Okay, Dallas can make up a lot of ground. I still don't believe they're going to win it this year, but they could close the gap seriously if what I think they did comes to fruition. But I still don't think we have enough to win. But we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do, and then we'll see who the juggernaut teams are, whether it's Philly, whether it's Detroit, or whoever emerges after the gauntlet and is healthy. We'll see. And then things get moved and changed. Like what's the team who made the playoffs this past year that's not going to make it this year? I got news for you.
Yep.
For my money, it could be Washington.
Yes.
Now, am I being too overly dramatic with that? I'm not saying I'm rooting against Washington. I'm saying they have a hard schedule. I think that the quarterback is going to deal with some of the stuff that the C.J. Stroud dealt with. And I don't think they drafted particularly well. And now, last year, they had the advantage of all that $130 million under the cap. Well, they're still under the cap, but they don't have money to burn like they did last year. Right?
You're exactly right.
I just can't wait to see the schedule. That's why I want to see what Washington's got. They're going to get
boom. Well, it's funny you brought that up, but May 14th, again, we'll be live I don't know. I guess it's a Wednesday. We'll do a live stream for that. We'll do a channel member Zoom. But that's it, everybody. I hope everybody's happy with your draft. I know I am, but I also know that we still have holes.
Well, I'm good to go.
We still have holes. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, thank you, everybody. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you, channel members. If anybody wants to be a channel member, just go to the homepage and click the link. You too can be a part of the Zoom calls. Everybody sub up the Primetime Phil's channel. I feel like I'm not doing my job if I can't get him to 2,000 subscribers.
Give that man
Hit
his
the
props.
thumbs up. Hit the thumbs
That
up,
man is
everybody.
Everybody sub up to Primetime Phil. Yeah, let's pick him up a
Already
little
did.
bit. So, but all right, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate
Night,
Have a
everybody.
good
guys.
night, guys.
I'll talk to you.
God bless. Take
Later.
care.
See you.
All right. Bye.